All right, before we get into the show this week, I just want to take a moment and let everyone know kind of a little update. About 10 days ago, I lost my grandmother unexpectedly, and I got a phone call from my mom. They live out in Michigan. I'm in Connecticut, and I got a phone call at about 7 in the morning saying that she passed away suddenly, and essentially I had to just stop everything and fly out there to, one, help plan the funeral, and two, grieve for the loss of my family. So I just wanted to take this second to thank everyone on fantasy Twitter, on anywhere that I generally interact in social media, stepped up and expressed their condolences, reached out to me. It was really amazing. And also everyone on the IDP Guys, Dynasty Football Digest staff, who expressed their condolences, as well as just stepped up to make sure that I could pretty much unplug for an entire week and didn't have to worry about fantasy football, didn't have to worry about this podcast or the websites, which is usually very hands-on for me. I want to shout out Andrew Bidlake.
Bidwell?
No, I think it's Bidlake.
It's Biddy.
Biddy. You know what? He's going to get a kick out of this, so I'm going to leave it. Biddy sent FF. He pretty much coordinates all the editing on staff. Mike Waller, Dan Friedman, those guys help keep everything running. All of our writers, Zach Bagley, Joey the Tooth, man, I'm probably missing a ton of people. Hollywood, Dan Cook, Kyle Bellafuel.
Yes.
Just great guys. We have a great staff. And the fact that I was able to just pack it all up. Honestly, these guys here too, Johnny, Sean, just keeping things going and allowing me to have my week to grieve and deal with my family stuff. So again, just very, very heartfelt thank you to everyone. It was a tough time for our family, and I'm glad to be back and trying to get into this new normal without, her in my life. So
we get a 1, personal space, 2, personal space, 3.
Hey, hello listeners. This is just a quick disclaimer for this week's episode. As anyone that's listened to the show before knows, there can be some adult language, and anyone that's listening for the first time, please keep that in mind. We tend to be ourselves and not filter, so occasionally a bad word might come out. If you have any children in the room, please put on some headphones or have them put on some headphones. Thank you.
That I don't even care about this. I'm not even interested in having this skin on my personal space.
You're listening to the IDP Guys with Sean, John, and Nathan, the Wizards of Fantasy Football. Your go-to source for the individual defensive player strategy. And now, 3 guys who could only make an NFL team on Madden.
All right, welcome back to the IDP Guys. This is episode 123.5, technically, because last week we didn't do a show. You heard my little thing at the beginning, but Johnny and Sean actually went on IDP Nation to kind of fill in the gap. How was that crossover show, guys?
It was a mess of alcohol is what that was.
Yeah, Sean and Hollywood was an interesting mix, that's for sure.
There were, I was drinking. I wasn't drinking like Hollywood was drinking. The number of times where he would just start arguing with me. And I'm like, I don't even know what you're arguing right now. Just like clue me in here, because I'd love to take the other side and just like go to town right now. But I don't even know what side I'm on right now. So
that's my purse. I don't know you.
It was entertaining. It was a lot of fun for sure.
It was, and we definitely thought about just canning it for the week, but I mean, Black Sunday happened.
Yeah, I'm glad we got to get into some of that. I know they don't like doing a lot of offense, and I talked a lot of offense, but there were just so many injuries, man. It was just brutality.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna full disclosure. Didn't watch a whole lot the last 2 weeks. This past week a little more. So you know, my analysis might not be up to par.
It's what we've come to expect.
But
it's okay.
So yeah. I might be below my par, I should say.
The best is when you like secretly study and don't tell us, and then
and then just
stuff out of nowhere
come at us with these just fire takes. It's like, where did that come from, Nate?
Or I'll re-spit back something Sean said like 2 seasons ago. Oh, man. So I do have a major announcement. We are moving back to our IDP Guys feed. The experiment, I guess, of going to the Dynasty Trade Calculator podcast feed. It didn't work out for us. I think it was a little too early. A lot of love for those guys. We're still in partnership with them as far as the trade calculator and all of that stuff goes. They allowed us to jump on, but I think as a show, we're just not ready, and I'm just not ready to give up that amount of control. Not that they were controlling of the show, but there were just some things that like I would have had to have not done that I kind of needed to do.
Yeah, Nate's a perfectionist.
Let's be real. It's just the swearing.
It. Yep. No.
That's all it is.
It's the too many poop jokes.
Let's just be real. We cannot go 2 minutes without swearing, and
we ruined IDP Nation's clean feed.
Yeah, we did. I think that was mostly Hollywood.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, so I mean, look behind the curtain. I've been cutting out all the swear words, and Sean got accidentally tanked last episode. What was that, 2 weeks ago? And the bombs were dropping. So
early and
often. So it was like what was not Blitzkrieg, but the shock and awe. That's what it was.
Shock and awe. Yes.
Sean was in shock and awe mode. So
there you go.
But yeah, so you'll see this popping back up into your IDP Guys feed thing. We're hoping that we've kind of adjusted this early enough that, all of those people that we might have lost come back. But in the end, it's better to just kind of cut the loss and try and go back to where we were than wait too long and just lose that option. So, yeah, with that, let's jump into the question of the day. With 3 weeks in, who are your ones at defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, safety, and cornerback?
Yeah, things have changed a little bit with Black Sunday, with some roles are different, some playing times different than what we thought it would be. Not too much, but there's definitely some weird stuff going on. Sean, are you prepared, or would you like me to lead off here?
Lead off. I got my answers, but I kind of want to hear what you have to say first.
All right, so we'll start at defensive end. I am still going Myles Garrett. I do not believe in the Alden Smith experiment. I think he's one bad decision away from being irrelevant once again. I don't remember a lot of what happened with him back in the day, but I went back and looked this week, and there was a lot. There was quite a bit. Yeah, it's not pretty. There's quite a bit. I'm not entirely sure that I trust he'll not do something crazy the rest of the year. So I'm going Garrett. Who you guys got?
How bad is that you can't even trust that he won't do something crazy for a year? Like 1 year. No, we're not even talking career. We're talking like 1 year.
I know. Just there were no less than 10 incidents that I read about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to jump in here. I'll go after Johnny. as I've said, like missed out last couple weeks. So I just pulled up who are the ones.
Here we go. Here we
at
go.
these
He did his
positions.
research. All right. We got research
So
Nate today.
It's Alden Smith with 4 sacks.
Defensive end 1 is Alden Smith.
Joey Bosa's right behind him.
Yeah. So it's I went based off of IDP invitational scoring too. So that was kind of interesting to look at and see those how that worked out. But yeah, Alden Smith, defensive end 1. I think I'm on Johnny's train. Like, I'm not trying to get that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Myles Garrett for me.
Yeah. And Joey Bosa's having a great year too, but we know he gets dinged up a lot too. I hope that doesn't happen. And he's definitely producing, but I trust Garrett a little more, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, defensive tackle.
It's Aaron Donald.
Yeah. We don't even have to discuss.
Nope, no discussion needed. Linebacker, this one's
Wait.
Oh.
So Aaron Donald is defensive tackle number 1, but more consistent at a very same level, right behind Aaron Donald, is Chris Jones.
Oh, yeah. Jones is having a great season.
Yeah.
This Monday night game, 2 sacks right there. I know he's got another one week 1, I think. He's had a bunch of tackles too.
There was week 2, they both had lower games.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, I think in that the IDP invitational scoring had 2 points, whereas Chris Jones has 7. And that's the only reason why I made that note, because they're right around the same points total, but Chris Jones is more spread throughout the 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you obviously have some other guys that are really good, but until Aaron Donald has a bad year, I'm going Aaron Donald.
Oh, absolutely.
Aaron Donald doesn't even have to finish as the 1 for me to continue to take Aaron Donald, because I have so much more faith in Aaron Donald than I have in any other player at the position.
Yep, big same. Who you guys taking it? I guess we could break this up: inside linebacker and outside linebacker.
I didn't prep for that, Johnny.
Oh, you'll be all right. It's TJ Watt at outside linebacker.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Inside, this is going to be sacrilege, but I am going to go Blake Martinez just because A, the Giants' offense is hot dog crap right now, and they're spending a ton of time on defense, and B, his role is just guaranteeing him a solid tackle floor every single week. What do you guys think?
And I guess it depends how you look at it. So if you're looking at it from like a this year perspective, I don't mind the Blake Martinez take. However, I think Blake Martinez is not nearly as good as what his numbers show, and I think that hurts him long term. I'd honestly, as much as I hate it, still probably go Leonard.
Yeah, he's not doing it. So the people that grabbed him in the first round, 0-3, by the way, that guy.
Wow.
And the guys that got him in the second round, third round, fourth round, it's not paying off.
No. No, it was not a wise investment at that price, but I mean, you just don't go linebacker that early. It's just plain and simple.
Yeah. So linebacker 1 right now?
Yep.
Zach Cunningham.
Ooh.
In IDP invitational scoring.
Awesome. I thought he sucked. I thought that guy sucks. That's what random Twitter guy told me.
Oh, interesting.
Well, and there's something to be said for the fact that Zach Cunningham definitely has issues with missing tackles. That's been a thing for him since college. And that kind of is something where, and like, Cunningham doesn't suck, but like, he's definitely a better IDP player than he is player. And like, we are the IDP guys, so we talk IDP. That said, like, there's definitely a difference between being a good player and being a good IDP player.
Definitely. So you got Leonard? You're sticking with?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Leonard.
Okay.
I'm going to be boring today.
That's fine. Safety. I'm going Marcus Mack.
You son of a bitch.
This is going to be crazy. Maybe not crazy. So that role obviously is super productive.
Mm-hmm.
And B, the Jets offense, I believe this is still true, hasn't spent more than 20 minutes per game on offense yet this year. I didn't look at week 3, time of possession, but before that, they're getting housed on time of possession every week. Their offense is just terrible.
I love me some Marcus May. I was a huge fan of him coming out of college. Safety one is that's ballsy.
Yep. And it's all production by default, baby.
No, he's a good player. He is a good player. I think that the thing is he's better in coverage than he is in run support as a player, which isn't always super conducive to IDP production. It is right now because of the role that he's got over there. I'm still going to stay boring and go Jamal Adams because I think that what he does and what he brings to that defense is good. And obviously depends on your scoring. Their defense is obviously better than the Jets, so there's less tackles to go around. But he's a playmaker, and I think that it's when you're having the debate between Jamal Adams and Derwin James, and then Derwin James goes down with injury, it's tough to not just give it to Adams by default.
Right. And what I'm looking at is he missed a third of this last game. He only had like 3 combined tackles before he went out. There's a possibility he misses this game. Does he catch up from that is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and I guess for me, I tend to think that your safety evaluation is garbage because Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is good.
My God.
I
never said he was a bad player. I said he's inconsistent.
Is that what you said? I believe you chastised all of us who picked him up off the waiver wire after week 1.
Yeah, if you like scoring IDP points every other week, knock yourself out.
He had pull up his numbers from last year. He had a good year.
No, I actually did today. He had 11 bad weeks and 5 good ones. Go have a look.
I guess that depends on your scoring. If you're tackle heavy, maybe. If you get decent points for pass breakups, then he had a good year. And he was a rookie.
Yeah, I'm not into it. Who you got, Nate?
Well, safety 1 is Marcus May,
Wow.
currently through 3 weeks.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and Adams is going to get you those sacks and stuff too. The injury right now, not great. Not great. If he comes back this week, yeah, I'd say safety 1. But I don't know if he can make up the difference if he misses.
So last year, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, he didn't play for the first 6 weeks because he was a rookie. So he was playing very limited snaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So of the remaining 10 weeks, he hit double-digit points 6 times, based on the scoring that we're using in all the COVID leagues as a rookie. That's a good year.
Yeah, I remember looking at it. It wasn't just the production; it was the playing time that fluctuated too. You never knew if they were going to play him or not, and that's tough.
Sure, but as a rookie, that's to be expected. And now he's in year 2, and now he's playing.
All right, I got a legit question for you. Do you think if something happens to Marcus Williams or Malcolm Jenkins, he would get a legit safety role?
I guess I'm curious what you mean by a legit safety role because he's playing a good amount of snaps this year.
Not week 2.
No, week 2 he played 56 snaps. He played 63, 56, 61. He only had the 1 tackle week 2. He had a bad week for IDP week 2.
What are you looking at? Are you looking at pieces? Because the percentage
I'm looking at his snap counts. 63, 56, 61 for snap counts.
Of what percent week 2? Like, of how many?
I mean, I don't have a percent in front of me, but if you're playing 56 snaps, like you're playing upwards of 70% of snaps.
I don't know. I didn't see that. But yeah, do you think he could ever be a 100% full-time safety?
I don't think any safety is really in the NFL moving forward going to be 100% of the snaps type of guy, just because I think the way safeties are moving, they're kind of the position where you get different guys for different roles. I think the era of 100% snaps is coming to a close at some point, but for the next 5 years, there's still going to be those guys, and I think that Gardner Johnson is definitely one of those players that could. I had a first-round grade on him coming out of college.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cornerbacks.
Yep. So right now, is it Mike Hilton?
It's got to be Mike Hilton, and
Mike Hilton.
He's my cornerback one, I think, too.
Nah, it's splash play reliant. He's averaging like a sack a week. That's batshit crazy. That's not going to happen all season. He's going to get 16 sacks. Really?
No, but
Corner.
No, but I think that's the reason that he's getting those sacks is because they're blitzing him at a super high rate. Like the Steelers are blitzing at an absurdly high rate. And I think that with the cornerback position, you're either counting on splash plays or you're counting on bad play. And they're putting Mike Hilton in a position to get those splash plays. And on top of that, he's playing the nickel position, which is definitely going to be something where you can rack up tackles because you're playing close to the line of scrimmage, you're playing inside. Your slot receiver is going to be generally off the line of scrimmage, which means that you have a lot cleaner path to getting to the backfield and stuff like that. I think he's in the position to make those plays. So, no, it's not going to be consistent every single week because you can't count on
no corner is. Yeah.
Right. You can't count on that. But I think he's in a position to do that.
Wasn't the number one IDP player 2 years ago a cornerback from Pittsburgh?
2 years ago?
I want to say it was 2 or 3 years ago. Oh, I'm thinking of not number one. I'm thinking of the most snaps. I'll take that back. That was the cornerback over there.
No, the guys that have played the most snaps the last 3 years are like Malcolm Jenkins, Justin Simmons, and one other guy.
Yeah, no, that was. Remember, I can't remember the guy's name.
I just don't know if it's if we're gonna see him there at the end of the year. It feels like an outlier first 3 weeks. I'll take Logan Ryan or James Bradbury. I feel like they're gonna be in positions every week to make some plays, and they've been really great so far. Ryan had a slow week one. He wasn't playing nearly.
Well, he just moved
he just
teams.
got there. He just got there. Now he's playing 100% of snaps. He had an excellent week this week. He had a solid week too. Giants offense looks horrid.
Yeah,
things are looking good.
Sorry, Eric.
Yeah.
All right. So how about let's talk about how you guys did this week in your leagues.
Sean can lead off. I know he did well.
Yeah.
I did pretty well.
That was the week before you did well. Okay.
I mean, I still did well this week. So I went 15-7. 3 of my 7 losses came at under 3 points, and 2 of those 3 came at under a point, and it was devastating. All 3 of those teams, I had Mark Andrews, where it's like, you piece of shit. If you just catch any number of these,
he dropped a touchdown pass.
Yeah,
he dropped so many passes, man. I'm just sitting there, and I think 3 of my losses, not necessarily those 3, I had Lamar Jackson. It was just like, man, I was on track to win probably like 20 out of 22 this week, and then I fell to 15. So it was a good week. It wasn't as good as what I think it should have been.
You ended up beating me in that league that I was projected over 100 points.
Yeah.
And I was talking crap to you.
Yeah, you were. That's why you be careful about talking shit, because
in projections are bullshit too. You know what I mean?
The projections weren't that bad. I had Mahomes, Tyreek, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire going, and they all played pretty well.
Yeah.
And I had Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews.
Oh God.
Yeah. So
yeah,
he overperformed. I underperformed by a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a thing though. The bad projections happen. These sites are behind on the times. Joe Thomas is still projected at 2 points, 2 point something on Sleeper. Ty Summers 1.56 this week. If he gets the start, and everything I've read says he's going to, he's not scoring 1.56.
Right. Oh, absolutely. So I'll go before you, Johnny, here. So mine's a mixed bag. I really didn't count just because, like, I literally got off the plane yesterday, and today I had some stuff going on. So I kind of rushed to get the show notes done and everything set. So I didn't go through counting all of my 20-something leagues. But I will say it was a mixed bag. Not the greatest. And one of my leagues was 32 team salary cap, and it was a doubleheader week. And I went in Monday night, finished up winning both of my doubleheaders with a subpar roster by 0.2 points.
Ooh.
And I prayed to the stat correct gods, and they dropped me 10 points.
What stat correction is 10 points? Did they like realize somebody didn't score 2 touchdowns? Like what happened there?
I would imagine that maybe 2 people or 2 sacks went to one single person and then got split.
Yeah.
And it was a heavy, like it's big play scoring. So I probably lost a whole sack worth of points, which sucks. And I was like kind of rubbing my nuts through the chat when I was like, oh yeah, like I did it. Like I beat like these 2 guys.
Your week just talking trash to people and then eating shit.
Yeah.
Eating a lot of it.
Oh man. Yeah. You wait 2 hours after the last game before saying anything.
It was the next morning. Like it had been a while.
Jeez.
And then they Tuesday mornings they put in the stat corrections. So
that's wild. That is wild.
Johnny, what about you?
It was a good week. Only $24 in DFS, 81 last week. That was great. 7-1 in Yahoo, 8-6 in Sleeper, 3-1 in MFL, not eliminated. And I used a lot of smoke and mirrors this week. Nate saw that in the IDP Open League.
What do you mean?
Rex Burkhead.
Okay.
Streaming crazy corners. You know.
I won a league where I had to start Dontrell Inman at wide receiver, and then he caught a touchdown. It's like, let's go.
I started him too. Yeah.
Okay. Just whatever it takes, you know. Like 11:45 Sunday morning. Okay, who's inactive?
See, and this is like so specifically Andrew Bidlake, who we gave a shout out to earlier, criticizes me from time to time about like, you know, the size of the leagues that we play and whatever. And, you know, I'm one of those guys who's sitting there and I'm like daily moving guys to the IR. I constantly have like 10 full IR spots and I'm just churning the bottom of the roster where it's like, yeah, I'm picking up this guy who has almost no shot of being anything, but I'm picking him up. And because I have that roster spot, so I'm going to maximize what I can do with that. And then, I'll probably drop him on Monday. But if that guy goes and does something, like, great. And Dontrell Inman was one of those guys where it's like, okay, I'm going to go pick him up. Nobody gives any fucks about having him on the roster. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to sit him at the back end of the bench. And you know what? He ends up starting and he ends up getting some snaps. And this week I was just in a bad situation. You play him and it just works out. And I'm definitely one of those people that's constantly churning the bottom of the roster, chasing points and chasing guys that are, you know, probably not great long-term or short-term plays, but, you know, like they have a shot and you just gamble on those weekly. So.
Yeah, that was my plan going into this year is every like week, just constant churning and stuff. And that lasted to week 2.
Yeah, I've been pretty good about it. Miles Gaskin was one of those players.
Yeah.
I have him.
Out of him.
Yeah, I think I have him now in 85% of leagues. And it was just like, like I really liked him as a talent. And I think that like, he's third on the depth chart entering the year, but like maybe he's got a shot. And so,
last year we thought he should get a shot.
Right. And he did, and he didn't do a whole lot with it. And then they brought in Breida. But it was one of those things where it's like, okay, if Breida doesn't do super well, maybe he's got a shot. And so he was one of those big time waiver wire pickups that I made before week 1 of the season, and I had him in 85% of leagues, and now I'm like starting him some places, you know?
Yeah, same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
What's up, guys? It's Josh,
Adam,
and Bobby
here with the Big 3 IDP podcast. And if you've never listened to our show before, here's just a taste of the insanity that you will get week in and week out with the Big 3 IDP podcast.
Skunks are so cute.
We just ate White Castle at like 10:45 at night.
I tell you, one I liked about it a little bit more was Jeffrey Simmons.
Ooh, did you say a Bartman, like Steve Bartman? I don't like Bartman in Chicago this year. He's going to catch too many foul balls.
You know it's all about getting real and getting down to business and getting down to the facts.
Slide 'em in, slide 'em out.
It's right.
So, if you would like more of the shenanigans that you just heard in these little snippets, be sure to subscribe to the Big 3 IDP podcast wherever you get your podcast adding. Listeners are guaranteed to have a good time.
Hey, you can't afford not to do this, baby.
That's right, baby.
This week's news.
Alrighty, it's here. It's here. We've been waiting, and it's here.
Mm-hmm.
Coronavirus.
Yes, it is here.
It's here.
So now, what do we think as far as?
It looks like Tuesday, and it's going to be a week 4 game, so we're okay.
But are we
We're okay now.
right? Are we changing? I asked this question. I don't think it was on this show. I think it was on the IDP Lounge that we did. And you said that, or we kind of collectively thought, okay, maybe we'll make it to the end of the season. What do you think now? Where do you put the line? The line before was week 3, week 4, week 5. Where do you put it?
It seems like they identified this pretty quickly and isolated everyone pretty quickly. Minnesota still doesn't have any positive tests, right? Last I checked.
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah. They moved it back to Tuesday. It looks like they did a decent job with it. I think we still get a season.
I do too. The thing is, I kind of wonder what happens if these positive tests came in the day before a game as opposed to the day after.
Right.
Because moving the game to Tuesday seems like a really not well thought out contingency plan, as they put it. Because that only works if it happens after the game. If it happens right before a game, it's like, when do you push this to? You know? Also, I'm a little unclear on why they are pushing the game in general.
Contact tracing.
Sure,
That's
but
I don't know what that means, but
Well, that just means they're going through and saying, okay, where did this guy go? You know, what point did he contract the?
It's buffer. It's just more time to see.
sure,
more,
but
more
like
test time.
you're testing all of them daily.
Right.
So what does pushing the game to Tuesday actually accomplish other than giving more time for these players to catch COVID? Like, I'm very confused as to what the purpose is. I'm not saying that there isn't one. I just don't understand it. Because if they're being tested daily, you would think that, like, if they play the game on Sunday and they test them Saturday and Sunday morning and they're all clear, then you're clear. So I don't know what pushing the game till Tuesday does.
They also haven't been able to practice, and I know that going to Tuesday allows them to get one practice in before the game.
Yeah, and I guess that would be my best guess. Is to like sanitize the facility, you know?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah.
Right. So that's really the only thing I can think of is that you sanitize the facility and then it has a week to, you know, if it's on any surfaces, go away. But it shouldn't take a week. Like, it doesn't, as far as I know, it doesn't live for a full week on surfaces. So I'm not really understanding the plan here. But if this is what the plan is, what happens then if somebody contracts it on, a Friday or a Saturday?
No idea.
I don't know either.
I feel like they would walk in, be tested, and say be positive, or maybe have a fever or something, and they just aren't allowed into the game. This seems like the game happened, and then multiple people came up positive. So you'd have to have multiple positive tests to postpone a game. So, like, if Detroit Lions decide to celebrate their victory at Downriver Strip Club, and they all catch COVID and they come in for the game.
How do you know a random strip club in Detroit?
I used to live downriver. I just put in downriver because that's a location in Detroit.
Sure.
So, yeah. But, and if they come in like 10 of them with COVID, then they're going to postpone the game, or they're going to cancel the game, if it's on a Sunday. But if it's just one, it's like, okay, we just don't have Kerryon Johnson this week.
So, yeah, and I kind of wonder, too.
It's kind of normal. He's not really there except for this past week for whatever reason.
I kind of wonder, too, then, like, what happens if it's only one player, but it's your starting quarterback? Like, I don't know where they draw the line. I don't know what their rules are. There's, like, it feels very arbitrary, where they're just kind of like, no, we'll do whatever. We'll see what happens. So yeah, I don't know what to think of this, because I did not think they were going to postpone games. I thought it was just going to be like okay, these guys have COVID, they're not playing, that's it.
Yeah. And if you look at who did contract, it wasn't really first team guys.
Right.
It was the team personnel and long snapper, like easily replaceable.
Right. And they, I think they'll just add AJ Brown on their fantasy team and want to give him a couple more days. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all it was. I don't know.
Well, and that's why I wonder, where, like, at what point does it become something where the league is just kind of deciding who gets to have their games postponed and who doesn't? Because like Raquel Armstead still out from COVID right now. Why did the Jaguars not get delayed? Like, what is the line that the league has decided, like, this is when we postpone games? Because I'm just waiting for it to become a controversy where, like some game, Matt Stafford has COVID and they're like, well, it's only one player, so you're playing and you just got to start Chase Daniels. And then, the next week, Aaron Rodgers has COVID and they're like, oh, well, we can't let the Packers play without Aaron Rodgers, so we'll delay this game. Like, it feels like they just don't have any rules hard drawn, and it really makes me wonder what the hell the rules are.
Well, I mean, that seems like a perfectly reasonable rule right there, because we all know Aaron Rodgers is far more important than
right. Yeah, I mean, he can throw the ball into the stands from in the pocket, and they won't call intentional grounding on him. So
I don't make the rules, John.
No one does. There's no rules.
I don't know. Whatever. We'll see what happens. But I think we, for the most part, avoided a total disaster this first go around. So that's good. All right. Speaking of total disasters, Nick Foles to start for the Bears.
Let's go. Let's go.
Okay with this. He looked good.
Yeah. This is big for your Allen Robinson and your Anthony Miller shares.
Yeah.
Because I think Mitch Trubisky really did a pretty good job of tanking their value for the last few years.
No doubt. Just real quick, anyone believe in the Jimmy Graham stuff?
What stuff?
Yeah, stuff.
He's got like 3 touchdowns in 3 weeks. Everyone.
Do I believe in him as a player?
He's a trending transaction, and
it depends on the type of league you're playing in. If you're playing in a tight end premium, sure. Like, yeah. If you're not, I mean, if you're starting Jimmy Graham at tight end, you probably have some roster issues,
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Anyway, long pole Foles to start. Congrats. long poles. Earl Thomas visits Houston. I don't think he signed. This was a few days ago. I haven't heard anything. Have you guys
Oh, was
heard
that the one where he refused to do the workout?
Oh, I have no idea.
I saw something yesterday came through that he
I
decided
didn't hear
to
that.
cancel the workout.
That's
with
wild.
Houston.
Really?
Yeah.
Because he wants to go to Philly, city of brotherly love.
God. It's like, dude, you got outright cut by your team. If someone's offering you money, just take it.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Ooh.
Texans won't sign Earl Thomas. Houston reportedly cancels workout after determining free agent would be a poor fit.
Wow.
You think he's collecting unemployment?
I have no idea. That's wild. And Dallas hasn't called either. Lord knows we need safety help, but not that kind of safety help. So I'm all set. Thank you.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was kind of excited. I have him on a couple rosters, just hanging on to him, just like.
Yep, same.
Like, I'm not gonna cut him,
right?
But like, he's of no use to me. So like, please go somewhere and be something, so I can at least trade you. Just like be anything.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Sterling Shepard to IR. That's not great. Giants offense gets more offensive.
Wow.
God, I hate you. Yeah. I mean, no Saquon, so that sucks for them. Also,
still, it's like a snowball effect. It's starting to become a snowball effect.
Yeah, I think this is probably good for your Golden Tate. Is who this is good for. Because I think Slayton's already seeing like a good amount of targets and stuff. This is probably good for your Golden Tate and good for your Evan Ingram, which thank God, because I have him everywhere and he's just been non-existent. I need, like, he's probably your best offensive weapon right now, and you're just not getting him the ball. It's just sad.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a total mess over there. We'll see how it goes. Injury Grim Reaper back and clapping cheeks again. Jarrell Casey out for the season. Not great. I got a couple shares. I don't know how bad did this hurt you guys.
I have, I think, 0 shares. I really don't tend to draft interior defensive linemen unless I have to.
For it, if he D tackle, if he's a D tackle, I'm fine with it.
Sure, all my leagues are on sleeper.
Oh,
so
gotcha. Okay,
right.
Gotcha.
Unless I have to, I don't draft interior defensive linemen.
Yeah. But yeah, DT specific leagues, I've always been okay with Jarrell Casey.
Yep.
Anyway, that happened. Alden Smith is the sack leader currently. We talked about that a little earlier. Not as strange as last year, but definitely some strange stuff happening. Tariq Cohen, ACL, done for the year. Not great.
I wonder if this makes a difference for Cordero Patterson.
That is what I was thinking as well. He's actually, if you've got, I think
return
yards, he's averaging like 12 points a game.
Right. I actually got beat by a Cordero Patterson share this week, and I hated it. But he put up like 14 this week, I think.
Yeah.
So I wonder, like, return yard leagues, he might be just like a viable starter if he can get some of that receiving work out of the backfield. I don't know. It's interesting. Without return yards, he's still worthless for now.
Right.
But it's definitely like an interesting thing where like maybe that becomes a thing, as much as I hate to say it.
What about Montgomery? Does he get a bump? Must.
I think so. Because I think he's going to get all the carries now. I don't know how much. I kind of wonder how much of the passing work he gets, because like beyond Tariq Cohen leaving, you're also switching quarterbacks, and you're not like Nick Foles likes to sling it. So I kind of think he might be dumping it off to the running backs a little less. So he might not see that big of an increase in the passing game. But running the football, he should definitely see more carries. And I do think that he probably opens up the offense a little bit, which opens up the defense, which opens up running lanes.
Yeah, I got a good amount of Montgomery because there was that injury right before the season. It pushed him way back.
Yeah, and I was never a huge Montgomery believer. I was definitely in the Miles Sanders club coming out of college. That was my guy.
I got a lot of him too. Same deal there. You got dinged right before the season. Everyone jumped ship. I didn't.
Yeah, and I guess I didn't do it. I only do the one redraft league, so I didn't see a ton of dropping there. But yeah, for me, like, I'm not a huge fan of Montgomery's game, but I think that he's got the workload to sustain production this year.
Chase Young, groin injury, not great. He will miss this week, I believe.
Yeah,
I saw something with that today.
Yeah, I think I tweeted out. I got notifications back to back of Burrow getting hurt and then Chase Young getting hurt within like a minute of each other. And, trying to remember who it was. Respected madman from Lions Twitter just said me staring at Okuda right now, and it's the Peel gif of him just like sweating. Raining sweat. It's like, yep, here it comes.
Has 9 solo this week, I believe.
Yeah, he also played. Like he also played terribly. So
that's great for IDP, though.
Right, I'm sure it's great for IDP, but only as long as he plays well enough to stay on the field.
With that much draft capital, you think they can him if he keeps playing like that?
They don't can him, but they definitely play him less. They didn't even play him week 1. He was banged up, but like, I think if he continues to struggle the way he's been struggling, he does not see the number of snaps he's been seeing. The only reason he's been seeing them is because Trufant has been out with injury.
Who else you guys got?
Oruwariye, yeah, which that remains one of the biggest mysteries to me is how he fell to the 5th round. He was a borderline first round grade for me, and then he fell to the 5th, and we took him and didn't play him at all until injuries started to pick up during his rookie year, and then he came out, played well, came in, started the season, played well. It's like, what happened here? How did this guy fall to where he is?
Yeah, I've liked him so far for streaming. Okay, Buda Baker, thumb injury, getting surgery, gonna be out for a minute. Not good. Also, Chris Banjo, injury, done for this week. Known for this week, maybe longer. There's talk of Isaiah Simmons going to safety.
Did you really just put Chris Banjo and Buda Baker in the same tier?
Because it leads to Isaiah Simmons at safety.
Sure. Yeah, Buda going down is brutal, especially after already losing Derwin James. Like, man, knock it off, injuries. Like, leave us alone. So I think I sent you the photos. I think I have 33% share of Jamal Adams, 33% share of Derwin James, 33% of Buda Baker. So I'm losing 2/3 of my shares between Derwin and Baker. So that's brutal.
It's not season ending though.
No, but it does make you wonder how long he's going to be out, because surgery generally is going to keep you out for a good amount of time. And you also kind of wonder, like, okay, so he's definitely one of those players that like capitalizes on splash plays, you know, like he still has a tackle floor, but like those picks, pass deflections, all that stuff, that's big for him and that's big for his game. And you know, he might be able to come back and still have that tackle floor, but like those splash plays probably don't come back for a little bit, even once he starts playing.
Yep. Guess who else they're bringing in for a workout, by the way?
Earl Thomas?
Nope. Tony Jefferson.
Ooh.
Oh, boy.
I like it, actually. I do. I like it.
I'm sure you do.
I like it. I remember Tony Jefferson on the Cardinals. He was very productive. I mean, he's old now. He's old as dirt, and it's a different defense, but whatever.
Well, and his production was largely opportunity based, and we don't really know what that opportunity is going to look like for him anymore. So,
yeah, they also got Deontay Thompson and Jalen Thompson there.
Yeah, I'm interested. Deontay Thompson's an interesting one. We haven't seen him at all. He was another one that like a lot of people had graded in the first round, and then I think he fell to the 4th. I think he's slow. I think it was Elijah Holyfield that torched him on a run, and Holyfield ran a 4.8. And then he went to the combine and didn't run his 40. So I think Deontay Thompson's slow, and I think that's why he fell. It's going to be an interesting situation for sure, though.
Yeah, it's gonna have to play out in a few weeks here. We'll see how it goes. But it was funny. I immediately saw articles. Isaiah Simmons to safety. It's like, oh boy, here we go.
Give me that positional versatility.
Yep. Okay, Chris Carson knee sprain on a dirty play. I'll admit it. It's a dirty play. He could play this week, but probably won't. So Carlos Hyde, it looks like.
Yeah, I have a lot of Chris Carson. This was pretty brutal for me.
It's not. It's only a week though, probably.
I know, but like every week counts, and when you're starting running backs go down in fantasy, it's just like you're scrambling, unless you're in a 10-team league, like you're scrambling for running backs a lot of the time. So, luckily for me, I made some good investments in guys like James Robinson this year. Kalen Ballage, for some reason, is viable.
Really? You think so?
I think he put up like 12 points this past week because he had 5 receptions.
He did. I saw that.
Yeah, I mean, he's terrible, but
man, I wouldn't trust anything on that offense.
Jesus. Oh, no, but like that was the thing. Like, I'm sure you saw these past 2 weeks when I'm talking about churning the bottom of my roster, like Kalen Ballage was that guy where it's like, okay, you have one player no longer eligible to be on IR. Okay, drop Kalen Ballage, and then as soon as somebody's list is out for the game, I move somebody to IR and I go pick up Kalen Ballage. I probably have picked up between 22 leagues. I probably picked up and dropped Kalen Ballage 50 times in the last 3 weeks. And it's just like, yeah, like they got nobody while Bell's out, so like he's just somebody nobody else wants him because he's terrible, but like maybe he gets the opportunity and. He did this past week. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and speaking of that, so that's the Thursday night game this week. Jets Broncos. A lot of people are, hey, let's get the Broncos defense. It's going to be great. I don't know if it's going to be great. That's 2 god awful teams.
Yeah,
and I could totally imagine that being like a 24-21 game. I could see it. They're both bad. Broncos defense is missing a lot of pieces. I don't know. Doesn't feel like a lock.
They're starting Brett Rippian too.
Yeah. So Jets defense, maybe that's the play.
I'm actually kind of excited to see Brett Rippian though, because like I didn't love him coming out by any means. He has a goddamn noodle arm. Just noodle arm. He's not athletic really. He's just like, but he's really accurate. And I'm just kind of interested to see like what happens if like you have Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler and Noah Fant and he just kind of throw together all these weapons and you put somebody with a noodle arm and just like a really accurate passer and just like throw them out there and see what happens. So it's going to be interesting. To say the very least.
Oh yeah, I'll be watching, no doubt. All right, Jamal Adams groin day to day. Probably missing this week. We talked about that. This one hurts. This one hurts the soul. Matt Ioannidis, torn biceps, done for the season. Damn.
I know you have a ton of him.
I do, and I was so happy that he was pretty productive this year. Still playing like almost like 60% of snaps some weeks.
So
I was pretty happy with that.
Joey tried to trade him to me. I needed D-line help because I was missing. I lost Danielle Hunter, D Ford, Marcus Davenport, Olivier Vernon, and Nick Bosa in a league. So I was down 5 defensive linemen, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, I need somebody. And
Gary Hyder, Benson Wayoa.
Nope, Kerry Hyder. I already have Kerry Hyder. I already made that move. So I was just decimated, and he's trying to trade me Ionitis. I'm like, I am not Johnny. You will not sell me Ionitis. Like, get out of here with that garbage. Ended up trading for Clowney and Ogba, which just felt dirty. I just hated both those picks. Ogba's been fine for me, though.
He actually is one of my waiver guys in the article this week.
Yeah, I mean, and he was one that I texted you about not this past week, but the week before, where I was like, he's in a really good matchup. I think I'm gonna play him this week. And I went and I made that trade, and he came down with either a sack or a half sack, something like that. But it was like, yeah, okay. He was just facing a garbage offensive tackle.
Yeah. No, he's actually okay. There's a few guys on that Dolphins defense that are worth looking at. We got a pair of ankle sprains. Jabril Peppers low, Dallas Goedert high. Not great for Goddard, right? The high one's the bad one.
Yep, that's a bad one. I mean, they're both bad ones. That's a worse one.
Right?
Yep.
So Jabril might be okay for this week. Although let's be honest, he has not done what everyone thought he would do so far.
I don't think he's a good football player.
What do we think that's the Blake Martinez effect, eating up the easy tackle floor, or what do we think that is? Because a lot of other people are succeeding around him, including Lorenzo Carter occasionally.
Yeah, I love Lorenzo Carter. Him and Josh Sweat were both early second round grades for me, and they're both turning up this season. So feeling real good about those guys.
Oh, I've had him as a waiver guy, but Jabril's supposed to, he started real hot last year, and everyone's got him as a top 10 safety, and yada yada yada.
Yeah, I mean, Jabril to me was always a tweener, where he was billed as this playmaker because he played offense and defense, but the reality was that he didn't really make plays. We got thunder. He didn't really make plays on defense. He wasn't great in coverage. And so like that playmaking ability was just not really a thing. And like his best asset was that he was just like a decent tackler. And that to me never screamed upside for IDP because like they were going to play him as, like when he was on the Browns, they were playing him in that angel role where he was like 40 yards off the line of scrimmage. And I think the thing is like tackling is obviously great for IDP production, but like you have to be a good football player. And I don't think he's a good football player.
Well, yeah, I don't
Sorry, that was a really long-winded way of saying I hate Jabril Peppers.
Yeah, no, you can hit us with that next time. That's fine. Goddard, though, I mean, decent for Ertz in the short term, but what is this, a month maybe? More?
Well, okay, so there's some exciting news to come out of this. Former many people's before the draft Dynasty Rookie 101 Hakeem Butler was signed by the Eagles as a tight end.
What?
Yep, let's go.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything, but it's definitely interesting, and I could be convinced to get on board with throwing a 6'5", 4'4", 40 guy out there at tight end in the Eagles offense that's totally devoid of weapons.
Yeah, Rager's gone for a minute. Jeffrey's not back yet.
Yeah. Nobody's heard from Arcega-Whiteside.
Yeah. See, what happened? Did you see the stuff with the game where he was like dressed and walked out there and management got him and like told him to go back inside? What the hell was that?
I have no idea what's going on with him. This is the most puzzling situation I've seen from a wide receiver. Makes no sense to me. Like, at the very least, his skill set should be useful in the red zone. I haven't seen him. So, like, yeah, there were always concerns about his speed and his separation ability. And I definitely made the mistake of having him be one of my exceptions to the rule where, like, My rule when evaluating wide receivers is if you don't separate, I don't like you. That's why I was never a N'Keal Harry fan and why DK Metcalf was so high up my board in comparison to Harry. I broke my rule with Arcega Whiteside because he was just so good at that one thing where like he was so good at contested catch situations, jump balls, red zone play that I thought like, you know, at the very least, this guy's floor is that he's going to be a target in the red zone, which is a nice floor to have. Haven't seen him. So, yeah, that's a wild swing and miss on my part.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, Eagles not looking great. I mean,
Doesn't happen to me, Johnny.
it doesn't happen to you. Sean's never wrong. Incapable
Never,
of being wrong.
Never.
Never.
Sean actually texted me the other day and said, "I hate everything, period." And I was
Yep.
like, I've been waiting years for you to say this exact thing because I've known this. I've known this for forever, but you finally said it.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jalen Rager to IR. We just mentioned that. Also not great. Chris Godwin out this week, likely next week also because they got a quick turnaround, hamstring. That's not great.
No.
Are we doing the Scotty Miller thing?
No, I'm not.
No?
No. I don't think he's good, and I think there's too many other weapons there that, like, I forget who it is that always rags on this on Twitter. There's some analyst that always gets really uppity about the idea of vacated targets, where like if a player leaves, people often are like, oh, well, this is now like 100 targets that are available. And it's like, okay, that doesn't automatically mean that like the person stepping into that role gets those targets.
Right.
Because realistically, targets are dictated by talent, where like if you're open, you get the targets. Like good players get more targets. So vacated targets don't tend to actually result in more targets for bad players. And I think that the Bucks specifically have enough weapons on that offense that like those targets are going to go to good players.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I could see it. And also, unfortunately, I've been getting the Bucks games here in Connecticut the last 3 weeks because we're supposed to look at Tom Brady even when he's in Florida.
Yeah.
Couldn't get Seahawks Cowboys. Had to get Bucks this last week. I can't tell you how happy
Dude,
I was with
I'm
that.
in Minnesota and I couldn't get Lions Packers when the Vikings weren't playing.
I think I finally have heard it. You said Minnesota.
Nice. But the point is with this, Brady just isn't slinging it like it's 07. He's not.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
Couple of things I forgot to mention on here. Uchenna Nwosu played defensive end for Melvin Ingram, according to NFL Jesus and what I saw looking at stuff last night. That's what I sent you in the text. That's the
Yeah,
Does that make any sense to you? Does that make any sense to you?
A little bit. He was always going to be somebody that was kind of a hybrid player. And I think they just don't have anything else there. So.
Right. That's interesting. I mean, if they changed his designation, I'd be into it. Yeah.
Right. That's what you're hoping for,
Right.
especially if he keeps that designation for the whole year.
Or if like what Yahoo does, give him both because he did both. You know.
Yep.
That'd be incredible. But anyway, that was wild. Go ahead.
Same thing with Willie Gay. Willie Gay's inexplicably playing edge as opposed to linebacker.
Interesting.
I hate all of my Willie Gay shares right now.
Yeah, he did get 19% this week, I think.
Yeah, I think all as an edge rusher.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll figure it out. It's only week 3. I think that's it for news. Quick note, I put this in both my articles last week. I'm not doing the start sit anymore. I hate it with the passion of 1,000 suns, and I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
Too many Twitter people complaining.
That, and I just don't like it. And life's too short to do stuff you hate just because you've done it for 3 years.
And John also writes his articles at a minimum of 5,000 words.
Yeah, this week's monster is coming in at 14.5.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a lot. That my draft. What was my draft board? 30,000.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
John's beat that in like 2 or 3 articles.
Yeah.
We like to talk. All right, that's it.
Yeah. MyFantasyFootballShirt.com is your place to get top quality fantasy football gear. Get yourself some merch from some of your favorite podcasts. Need some custom shirts for your league? Contact us today. Just go to MyFantasyFootballShirt.com.
Gut check.
All right, this is the part of the show where we pair together 2 sets of defensive players and 1 set of offensive players. We talk about them in respect to each other and who we like, who we don't like, and whatnot. Then we send it out to you in a tweet to get your opinion and talk about it the week after. I do have some gut checks. I finally did it.
Nice.
And then I had to go away for a week. But here we go. Let's talk about 2 weeks ago. Gut checks. We got a pair of linebackers here. Rams, Micah Kaiser. Cincinnati's Jermaine Pratt with 174 votes. 57% Micah Kaiser.
Wow.
How's that track?
It tracks. It would be like 99 now.
Yeah.
99% should be.
Gotcha. Alrighty. Pair of safeties. New York Jets, Marcus May. New England Patriots, Adrian Phillips. 184 votes. 73% Marcus May.
I like it.
And finally, pair of running backs. New Orleans Saints, Alvin Kamara. Minnesota's Dalvin Cook.
Ooh.
175 votes. 71% Alvin Kamara.
Wow. It feels closer than that, doesn't it?
I think Alvin Kamara is leading. God, it's not just yards after the catch. It's something else. He might be leading in receptions. He's getting crazy receiving production right now. Whereas Dalvin Cook is on just a trash offense. That play call, man, I was over at work watching the game and I'm sitting there and I'm just watching these poor Vikings fans just watch the team go down the drain. And I'm just sitting there beginning of the 4th quarter. And it's like, you guys are screwed. Like, you guys have a 2-point lead and you're trying to run out the clock. Like, you guys are cowards. You're screwed.
Yeah, it's not going well for him.
No.
Yeah. No, Kamara is on a tear, man. He looks like, I mean, you know, the RB1's obviously going to be a little weird this year with no Saquon and CMC missing a few weeks. It looks like it's Kamara at this point.
Wow.
Oh, all right.
This week's?
We got some pretty relevant ones. So, first one, pair of running backs. I don't know how you want to describe these guys. One of them you got for free, and
they both start with James.
They both start with James. That is why.
Oh man, Robinson and Connor.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You like that?
Don't do this.
They're actually a couple. They're only a couple points apart, so it is close. James Robinson, Jacksonville, 210 rush yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, 10 receptions, 129 yards, 0 receiving touchdowns, 0 fumbles. James Conner, Pittsburgh, 224 rush yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, 8 receptions, 63 yards, 0 fumbles. I want James Robinson, not for anything scientific other than I can't stand James Conner. He's giving me more headaches than a lot of things.
Okay, be careful there. James Conner's a great dude.
Oh, no, as a person, I love him. That video where he bought his dad the truck is one of the greatest things I've seen on Twitter this year.
Well, and also just like, you know, overcoming cancer and making it to the NFL.
He's a good
score you fantasy points.
Right, he's a good guy. You know I don't give a crap about personality. I've got so much Tyreek Hill, it's unbelievable.
And Sean can't say that he doesn't either.
Right.
No, so all of my Tyreek Hill I drafted this year. I traded away a lot of it. Not on moral grounds, but more like just being very concerned that he just can't keep it clean. Personality issues are stuff I care about, but not for fantasy football.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at. I play to win, and that's where it is. I think I want Robinson here. strictly because both of them are kind of up in the air about losing their job at some point this season.
Mhm.
I think that it's more happening right now to James Conner, and James Robinson is more down the road.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Robinson isn't made of glass either, so that's nice.
Yeah, I'll side with you guys, James Robinson, on this one. I don't have much Connor. And what was it? Week 1, he was out,
No, he
Or-
played. He went down.
went down, and
Yeah.
Benny Snell went off.
Right. Okay, this one should be fun. I can't wait to see the results on this. So, do you want the current sack leader, Alden Smith, 12 solo tackles, 8 assists, 4 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 6 QB hits, 1 pass defense, or do you want Cameron Jordan, who's done nothing so far this year? 8 solo tackles, 5 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 1 QB hit, 0 sacks. I want Cameron Jordan for many reasons.
Yeah,
I'm not
Cameron
trying to
Jordan's-
go through them all.
Cameron Jordan's the answer.
I guarantee you this is going to come up Alden Smith.
Is Alden Smith this year's Shaq Barrett?
No.
No?
Because Shaq Barrett's not a crazy person.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know that.
You're right. We don't know that. I don't know. I just don't trust Alden Smith. And Cameron Jordan is done well for me for years, plural. He's reliable. Just because he had a slow start doesn't mean it's the end of the world. He's going to come around.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you guys, are you guys worried about Cameron Jordan?
No.
I'm not. Yeah.
No.
Generally.
Okay. Just checking. And last but not least, we got another Zach Cunningham gut check. I don't know why. I think, because these guys were 1 and 2. That's
Yep.
why. All right. So Zach Cunningham, number 2 linebacker in most of my formats, 24 solo tackles, 8 assists, 1 tackle for loss, 1 sack, 1 QB hit. And as crazy as this is, it's true. Miles Jack in my home league and a number of other leagues is the number 1 linebacker right now.
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh boy.
I know. I'm never going to have a share, ever.
I
don't
know
care.
you're not.
I don't care.
Just like Shaq Barrett until you do.
No, I will not change my mind on this one.
God, I can't wait till Miles Jack ends up as linebacker 1 and Johnny's just taking him everywhere next year.
No. I don't chase linebacker points. You know that.
Yeah.
I'd rather take Tremaine Edmonds and Darius Leonard. I don't care. It's true. Price. Give me price. Give me roll. Give me
Interesting.
historical production. Give me warm body last 10 years, 100 plus tackles. Give me that. Okay. Miles Jack, 20 solo tackles, 13 assists, 1 tackle for loss. 2 QB hits, 1 sack, 1 pass defense. Give me Zach Cunningham.
Give me Miles Jack just to piss you off.
If you had to really answer, though, what would you say?
Miles Jack.
Really?
Yep. He moved roles and he's feasting.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a pretty good explanation for why he's showing up, other than just like, oh, he's randomly playing better. It's like, no, they moved him to a role that was more suitable once Schobert took over.
What happens if in the future he has to be moved back because they like Schobert? What's Schobert's contract look like?
Oh, he's there
It's
for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah, injury is the only thing that could change that.
Right.
And that
Could happen.
could happen.
Sure, but that could happen to anybody.
Right.
True. But we know that if that happens, that greatly negatively affects Miles Jack.
Well, I don't know. I mean, so if you're the Jaguars and you see that Jack is doing really well in this role, not having to, wear the green dot and all that stuff, do you put someone else at middle linebacker?
We are talking about the Jaguars, right?
Yeah, no, but really, do you? And just
You mean
keep
the
Jack where he
genius
is.
organization that drafted Gardner Minshew in the 6th round? Yeah, we're talking about the Jaguars.
What do you think they do, though? Seriously.
I don't know. I don't know either. But either way, I'm not super worried about it, because if you're counting on a Joe Schobert injury to move somebody to middle linebacker in a linebacker depleted defense, I think you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean,
That's just me.
I just hate the history with Miles Jack. It's obvious that he's in his spot. This is the spot he does well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys hate Miles Jack. It's okay.
Yeah, no. If I weren't an asshole, sorry. I know we can swear next week, but if I weren't,
Is that next week?
Yeah, sorry.
I dropped the first
Yeah,
swear. So
Nate.
I've been swearing this whole episode. I thought we were safe this week.
Yeah, no, I guess it's but whatever. Yeah, if I were just a normal person, I would take Miles Jack here. I really would. And if I were a normal person, I wouldn't be as infatuated with Antoine Winfield. But
no, Winfield was the right answer in that poll.
No, I know. I know.
You were correct.
But people are, how come you think he's so much better than Chin? This, that, and the other. I don't have a scientific reason for you, except my brain is poisoned by his dad. That's not a scientific answer.
Right, and also he is better than Chin. So there's that.
Yeah, there you go.
But I think Miles Jack is that girlfriend who fucked you over and then
oh boy, you even thought about
back.
that one before dropping it.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, I mean, we'll see what I think it'll be. All three are going to be interesting answers. We'll see.
I still remember when you guys thought Russell Wilson was garbage.
Hey, what? What was that?
Yeah.
It was like when we first started the show. He had some beef with the Seahawks.
Oh, I had a beef with Doug Baldwin. No, not Russell Wilson.
Yeah, definitely Doug Baldwin.
Yeah.
Okay. Doug Baldwin was great too.
Check the rankings.
Yeah. So listener questions. Let's jump into. We got a couple here from looks like emails. Johnny's.
Oh, you want me to take it?
Yeah, go for it.
I got it. So I got a couple emails.
No, I'm refusing. I'm refusing to answer one of these based on the person's username. I saw that. I didn't even. This is the only thing I saw in the show notes, and I immediately was just like, nope, we're going in blind this week. I don't want to see any more of this garbage. So you guys have at the listener questions. I'm out.
Oh, jeez. Wow. The listeners know us, The first one is from Baker Lamefield, 1776 at Outlook.com. What kind of email service is Outlook.com?
Dude, he made this email account just to. It's probably you, to be honest.
I don't even know what Outlook is.
No, because nobody uses that garbage. You just went and created a free email address, and this is the only one where that email address was available. It was all taken on Yahoo. It was all taken
not on Gmail.
You're telling me there's a bunch of other Baker Lamefield 1776s out there?
It tracks.
Yeah, you own all of them.
Jeez Louise. Okay, this is a good question though. What's with people dropping guys like Shaq Thompson, Max Crosby, and Josh Allen? I've seen it in several of my leagues. I have seen Max Crosby get dropped. I scooped him immediately. There was some complaining about Shaq Thompson on Twitter before this week, obviously. I think it's all new IDP players. I think they don't know what normal production looks like. They don't know what defensive end production in particular looks like. It's not an every week position. It's Michael Strahan, 2001, was basically the only time ever you're getting a sack every single week. I looked at this.
and Shaq Barrett last year.
No, he had weeks where he did nothing.
He had two.
Yeah, but Strahan had none.
I'm just trying to piss you off. That's all.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, I mean, I just think that's what it is. It's new IDP players. Thompson, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could see people getting frustrated with that, but the matchups weren't that great the first couple. He did fine week one. He had a bad week two, and he blew the hell up this week. Input?
Yeah, I told you I'm out on this one. You got this, Nate.
I just say this happens every year. Yeah. Every year, people.
Well, you remember people complaining about the Aaron Donald slow start,
right?
A couple of years ago.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
Oh, we got a message.
I think that was last year.
Was that?
I think so because
maybe.
I had a lot of Aaron Donald last year, and it really tanked me in a couple of leagues the first few weeks.
Right, but then he caught right back up. He ended up with like 14 sacks or something, I think, right?
Yeah, he ended up having a great year. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality is that sacks, they're like you don't get them every week.
Right.
It's just not how football works.
Right.
Yeah.
We had a question come through IDP Guys Twitter account. If it's time to drop Corey Littleton, what do you think?
No.
Not yet. It's frustrating. but no,
And also, so much of it depends on your league setup too, where it's like, yeah, if you're starting one linebacker or one IDP player, yeah, you can drop Corey Littleton and pick up somebody else. But like,
Right.
if you're playing in a league that starts 3 linebackers, 2 flex, like, no, you're not dropping him. Get out of here.
Yeah, he had 6 combined, 4 solo this week, so he's getting better. They got the Bills this week too. That could be decent. Anyway, last but not least, Fat Patricia 1864 at yahoo.com.
You guys legitimately are just making this shit up.
No. The listeners know us.
Yeah, apparently, and they're just here to troll me.
Yeah.
I love this question though. Is Mike Leach a genius on the level of Belichick or Saban?
Okay, this is you. This is you for
Yep.
sure.
No, this one's me. I'll admit it. This one's me. This one's me. But I love this though. Good job, me. Great question. Is Mike Leach a genius on the level of Belichick or Saban? Thoughts on turning a mediocre SEC offense into 623 yards, 5 touchdowns against the national champions? I was texting you during this game. It was blowing my mind.
I know. I was at work. I was really
Holy
bummed.
God, man. I couldn't believe it. Because, I mean, yeah, you could do this in the Pac-12. Sure. SEC, defending national champions, 5-star recruits everywhere.
Yeah.
NFL players.
This is what offense should be. Sling the football.
Yeah.
That's what running the football is a waste of your time. Throw the football.
You were at work. His press conference, well, not press, whatever it was. The interview afterwards was great too. They asked him like, "Oh, what are your thoughts on getting LSU out the gate as the first game?" And he's like, "Well, the Patriots and the Seahawks were busy this week, so they gave us LSU."
Okay.
All right, that's all we got.
Dynasty Football Digest, your new essential site for Dynasty information. For as little as $1 a month, gain access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, trends, ADP, in-season assets, and a Slack chat just for subscribers. Purchase today at dynastyfootballdigest.com.
Check the rankings.
Alrighty, time for steak and salad. Johnny, you want to start this one off?
Sure. Something we like, something we hate. Steak this week was much better fantasy week overall. It's always fun when you can use the smoke and mirrors to get wins. I remember that year Cordell Patterson ran for the Patriots for a week, and I used them. That pissed Sean off to no end, but it worked, and it got me some wins. That was wonderful. Aguilar last year, I do believe you were not happy with that either, but it worked. I love that stuff. It's fun. And you were talking about it too. Like if you can grab some guy that's relevant for a week and it helps you win a game, like that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. My stake is the Lions finally winning a game, I guess.
Does this postpone the Patricia firing?
Oh, yeah. Good question.
I was going to get to that. That's my salad.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, that killed a ton of people in Survivor. That messed up a lot of parlays. That was crazy.
I did not expect that at all.
No one did.
Nope.
Completely crazy. Yep. Nate, stakes.
My stake is being back home after unwanted trip home. But also, kind of, I'll announce it here, starting a podcast with Statement Games.
Oh.
Yeah. Mark contacted me this week, and we are currently working on a pilot episode. Sorry, mine went blank for a second. Pilot episode that we're going to record tomorrow. It'll be Statement Games branded. It'll be on their app and all that stuff. And I'm going to be hosting along with Mark, and we're going to bring on probably a guest each week to talk about, whatever.
So is it like in regards to the site and the app, like you guys are talking about those specific prop bets in games and stuff?
Exactly. So it's going to be part like, you remember my Making Picks episodes that I would put out?
Yeah.
It's kind of along those lines, but longer form, probably 15 to 30 minutes. We're going to talk a little bit about the app itself, either, a feature, or Mark is going to give us some behind the scenes looks of like what he's going through that week in, sports app business, interesting stuff. I thought, then we'd go over a couple games that are coming out that week, this would be like the Making Picks segment, but between the two of us and probably with like a third person, and maybe set a lineup or set a, what do you prop bet top 10?
Yeah.
I guess you'd call it something along those lines. We're still trying to like figure it out, but look for that coming out soon. I'm involved in that project, and it's pretty cool. So that was exciting.
Nice. Okay, salads. Time to toss some salads. Cowboys once again. Although I knew that was coming. I had Seahawks as my survivor everywhere.
I love the Washington football team winning that division so far with one win.
No, we have one win too.
Oh, I know, but I prefer to think of the Washington football team as leading the division.
Also, me and at Adam IDP had a really nice lineup that was cashing good, and that Aaron Jones touchdown review screwed us. That 6-point difference would have been, I don't know, $40-$50. Like, that was not great, but whatever. It happens. Salads.
So, kind of already touched on this, but the Lions winning puts us one step further away from Trevor Lawrence and one step further away from getting a decent coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And possibly GM.
Well, yeah, definitely. Coach goes, GM's got to go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I guess my salad, this is going to, I touched on it at the beginning of the show. My grandmother dying. I think that would be my salad for the next, at least the rest of the year.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man.
Yeah, it sucks.
All right.
Yep. All right, so let's talk about this past week. Johnny, before we get into our over, met, and under, why don't you go through those most important waivers and get through that, and then we can wrap up the segment with
week in review. Yep.
Yep.
Sounds good. And Sean, I don't know if I was just looking at trending transactions. I don't know if there's anyone you want this week. Maybe have a look real quick.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the show notes.
Well, I didn't put any offense. I was just looking at my app for trending.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So Jordan Phillips over in Arizona. Through 3 weeks, he's doing exactly what he did at Buffalo, playing like 60% of snaps a game and putting up basically a sack every single week, which is great if you need defensive tackle help. Same deal with Danico Autry, just not quite as productive. But yeah, if you need defensive tackle help, that's a good call. So is Shelby Harris. He's been on fire to start the season. Safeties, Jordan Whitehead, Troy Apke. Washington is doing miles better than Landon Collins. It's kind of crazy, but true. Taylor Rapp, although that's an interesting situation. Jordan Fuller was injured and left. Taylor Rapp came in and did Taylor Rapp things with 7 combined tackles. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. If Fuller is healthy this week, who plays? I would just be careful with that. Over in linebacker land, Kazir White, once again, 100% of snaps this week, like 11 tackles or something. It looks like he's locked in as one of the linebackers over there for the Chargers. T.Y. Summers for the duration of the Christian Kirksey injury. Avery Williamson finally felt better this week, played 95% of snaps, had a massive week. That is good to see. We all have a bunch of Avery Williamson. Carl Lawson, we've talked about him before on the show, I believe. Kerry Hyder out of the 49ers, Benson Mayowa out of the Seahawks. I mean, not great, but if you need defensive end help, it's something. The Streaming Corners article on Friday morning will take care of corners. Sean, what do you think for offensive guys? I mean,
So
Mo Alley Cox. That's one everyone's talking about. What do you think about that? Do you think Doyle screws with him or?
I'm out on Cox. Just kind of looking at what's trending right now. I like Hunter Renfrow. I like Jeffrey Wilson until that running back situation gets sorted out. I think Ayuk had a really promising first week. Myles Gaskin, obviously, talked about him earlier. And then Justin Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of the guys I like.
Thanks. All right.
Sweet.
So let's do the over, met, and under. This is where we talk about guys that overproduced for us, met our expectations, or underproduced. Johnny, kick it off with over.
Okay, over guys that overproduced this week. Aaron Donald. Excuse me. We always expect big things out of him, but good God, he went crazy this week. Also, Shaq Griffin in an absolutely perfect matchup went absolutely crazy. Harrison Smith did Harrison Smith things. That was nice to see. Shaq Thompson also blew up.
All right, so I'll do one from each offensive position here. So Josh Allen, overproduced. He's done it a few weeks in a row now, obviously, but I don't expect it to continue at this rate. Rex Burkhead with 38 points is pretty stupid, just dumb. Justin Jefferson doing pretty much nothing through 2 weeks and then blowing up for 175 yards in week 3 is an over.
Yeah.
Really rough week for tight ends in general.
Seriously.
Tyler Kroft, putting up 22 points with 2 touchdowns, probably an over.
Oh yeah.
And then I'll leave you guys with the defensive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do your over? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I put Chuck Clark down. I mainly just went with guys on my team that, overproduced from where I drafted them.
Yeah, no, he had a huge week. Deshaun Elliott, by the way, the Ravens. Thoughts on Deshaun Elliott? I'm seeing things I like so far. What do you think?
He was one of my churn the bottom of the roster waiver wire pickups in a lot of dynasty leagues a few weeks back. Basically, as soon as I saw he was getting the nod to start, I was like, all right, starting safety, let's grab him everywhere he's available. So
he's been really good. So he's for free, so it's been nice. Yeah. Alrighty, met expectations. This is crazy, but Antoine Winfield Jr. is meeting expectations at what he did this week.
Yeah.
He's going to be so good. Zach Cunningham also. Max Crosby coming around doing Max Crosby stuff. That was nice to see. And Josh Allen, the good one, not the bad one, had a nice week.
All right, let's see. For quarterback, I'm going to say met expectations, Mitch Trubisky, because he met my expectations of getting benched. For running back, let's take a look here. I'd love to say Antonio Gibson, but he's still not getting any passing work. Adrian Peterson at 11 points on over 20 carries probably meets my expectations. Let's see, receivers. It's nice to see Mecole Hardman get moving a little bit. Almost 20 points is about where I expect Kenny Golladay. I think those are pretty good ones. CD Lamb sitting at about 15 points is about what I'm hoping for him every week. Tight ends. Zach Ertz at 21 points or 20 and a half is about what I'm expecting to. So,
my net expectations, Chris Jones.
Yes.
Doing Chris Jones things.
Yes. Splitting butt cheeks like firewood. Yeah.
I still need to make that T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
And so I used one in my article this week. I said Max Crosby was penetrating butt cheeks like an SR-71 in Soviet airspace.
of course he did.
All righty, underproduced. J.J. Watt, but he'll be fine. Bradley Chubb, because he got screwed on a stat write-up, basically, or a scoring call. I don't know what you want to call it, but I watched him sack Tom Brady, and they're saying Brady got just past the line of scrimmage. So it was just a solo tackle instead, which is total BS. So everyone's freaking out about Bradley Chubb when he should have had a sack this week, and it would have been fine. Jordan Hicks, underproduced. Tremaine Edmonds, underproduced, but he'll be fine.
I think the obvious one at quarterback is Lamar Jackson being terrible this week.
Yeah.
Josh Jacobs putting up only single digits is obviously not great. Wide receiver. Let's see what we got here. DJ Moore at 9.5 was pretty rough. Jarvis Landry at 8.5 is rough. I think those two pretty much speak for themselves there. Tight ends. Let's see. Everybody pretty much underproduced this. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. God, that killed me, man. That was so bad.
I went with Chase Young. Obviously, it was an injury problem. Or Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
Tackle assist, forced fumble recovery. Without those two extra plays, that would have been really bad.
Yep. Yeah. And Preston Smith hasn't done anything yet this year, but he will.
A lot of Rashawn Gary on the field.
The IDP Guys is your #1 resource for IDP information for your fantasy leagues. For as little as $1 a month, get access to all that we have to offer. Rankings, ADP trade calculator, in-season assets, and a Slack chat to get personal help all year round. Purchase today at idpguys.org.
Jonny The Greek.
All right, so before we kick this over to Johnny, I just want to remind everyone we are partnered up with Statement Games for the Sunday night game contest tournament. Multiple different things in that statement I just said. Sunday night tournament, which is of contests of the Sunday night game. Bam, there you go. So go to statementgames.com or their app and join that contest tournament thing.
Yep.
And we're giving away a free jersey if you've got to win your contest. And then we are going to be drawing that from Johnny's Cowboys hat. So hopefully that brings you good luck.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
One of these times you're going to draw my name.
Yeah, Sean did really well the week we didn't do the contest.
Yeah, you might say I won 2 nights in a row. I think the first night I lost the drawing, and then the next night to get the jersey, I needed the
over.
I won the contest, and then they had to score under 50.5 points for the jersey to get given away, and I missed on that. It's like one of these times you guys are gonna have to give me a jersey.
So are you playing now?
Yeah.
I don't think you were playing last year.
No, because I'm terrible at prop bets, but as it turns out, I'm actually really good at prop bets.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep it going. It's a fun game.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week's Statement Games contest is Eagles 49ers. Hopefully Jimmy Beautiful will be back. Get well soon, Jimmy. I love you.
Jimmy's not playing.
Oh, did they say that already?
I think it was listed as very doubtful.
Oh, wow. That really doesn't change much for me, to be honest. Eagles don't look so good. I don't know. How do you guys see this one going? I think Philly's going to get steamrolled. It doesn't really matter who's at quarterback for the North Niners.
Oh, I agree entirely.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if Nick Bosa's gone. It doesn't matter if Kerry Hyder's their best rusher. It doesn't matter if Quan Alexander does nothing and is made of glass. It doesn't matter if Richard Sherman's not there. Eagles are terrible. They will be under 19.5 points. San Fran will win by over 7.5 points. And Robbie Gould will hit over 1.5 field goals because, I don't know, it just probably will.
Yeah.
Love the science.
You like that? So yeah, that's what we got for the contest this week. For overall bets, man, me and half the universe had Arizona -5.5 against the Lions last week. Didn't work out. So 4-2 on the season. I'm taking Seahawks -5.5 at Miami. I'm feeling fairly decent about that one. What do you guys think?
Is it Texans Vikings this week? Is that who it is?
For what?
Is that the game?
No. I'm taking Seahawks -6.5 at Miami.
I know that. I'm saying who are the Texans playing this week? Is it Texans Vikings?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I saw something on that today. Let's check it out here real quick. Yeah. So I think the Vikings are getting points against the Texans in Houston.
Yeah, that makes sense. They're away.
No, I'm saying I think the Vikings are getting points. Like the Vikings are favored.
Oh, they're
sorry, giving points.
Okay.
Yeah, the Vikings are
giving, right. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I think the Vikings are favored in Houston.
Oh, that's
and weird. So that would be my pick for the week. If not, it's real close.
Yeah, no, that sounds good to me. I just think there's no way the Seahawks don't smoke Miami. You know, like if they let Russ cook, he's going to cook.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
All right. With that, make sure you're following us on Twitter at IDP Guys. Individually, I'm at Nate Cheat. John is at OrangeMan3142. Sean is at Lanning1925. Subscribe to the show. Go to idpguys.org. The sidebar, there is a Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher link, as well as an RSS feed for the podcatcher of your choice. While you're there, become a subscriber to the website. Get our premium content. I just updated the snap counts for the week. We've got new rankings for Dynasty going up tomorrow. We've got ADP. We've got weekly rankings that IDP Dude puts together. There's just a ton of great stuff. There's the Slack chat where you can get all your questions answered in real time, constantly. Man, like
there's 50 messages a day every time I log into that thing.
I'm looking at expanding the Slack chat so that it's a little more organized, maybe adding something for like trade questions, stuff like that. We shall see. Someone had suggested that, and I thought it was a good idea. But we also don't want to make it, just 5 different chats that are blowing up all the time. So, but it's a great resource and just a good time. And finally, go to Writer Digest Network YouTube channel and watch all our great shows. Joey just put out his week 4 IDP update. Yeah, that's the show. Yep. IDP update. That has been kind of taken off on our channel. Really good show, 15-minute content. He hits on a lot of great, topics that are really relevant for you to, win your week. So make sure check that out. Subscribe. YouTube, Writer Digest Network, REITER Digest Network. That is it for today. Are you guys?
Yeah, I don't have anything.